Editing Shaaba here, interrupting this video because my new single Weird is coming out really soon on the 7th of February. It goes a little like this.
When I was a kid, that was weird. 20 years on and I'm still real.
We're trying to make the biggest fuss that we can. I have some cute things coming your way. I'm excited, I'm nervous, and it would mean the world to me if you wouldn't mind pre-saving it. I'm trying to see if I can get 1,000 pre-saves on the song. It's entirely free for you to do. It takes about 10 seconds. And what it means is if you pre-save the song, you'll get it the second it comes out. Right on Spotify, fresh out the oven. That's Baby Shaaba from the cover art, looking really happy that you pre-saved. I'll pop a link downstairs in the description box. If just like 0.6% of the people who are subbed to me were able to click this link, 10 seconds totally free. And I'm also going to be doing a little giveaway, so if you're happy to do the pre-save, your email will be there. I'll email you if you win. More details on that coming soon. I'm just so excited. I can't wait to share it with you. Wait, it's just a start, baby. Alright, I'll let you go on with the video now. Thank you so much. Okay, bye. Hi peaches, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. This is the first Shaaba video of the new year. Me to you, peaches. I'm wishing you the most wonderful 2025. I hope it's full of holding space for things that really matter to you. For gratuity, for health, and for laughing so much it hurts your belly. That is what I manifest for you. But without further ado, what's this? What's happening? You're through to 1-800-DRAMA, the show where you share your biggest dilemmas and I help you navigate them. I'm Shaaba, and with your help,
and sometimes mine,
let's help people figure out if they are the drama, because sometimes you just need an outside perspective and we can all expand our own mindsets along the way. Are you ready to dive deep into the a-holes? Let's go. Hi peaches, it's Shaaba. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking on another video. What was that intro? Sorry! For those of you who have been on this channel for a while, you know that we do Am I the Drama Mondays. Every other week it is with the gorgeous Jamie, and every other week I do one just myself, which is kind of how we started this series here on the Shaaba channel. So we decided to marry the two. Now be kind, for those of you who have only listened to the 1-800-DRAMA podcast with me and Jamie, I don't have my little co-star to bounce off of, but a bonus. In these episodes with just me, we have time to go through an additional one. We'll go through 4 Am I the Dramas today. Should we go fishing for some a-holes? Let's go! Am I the drama for making my partner decide whether he wants to go to a New Year's Eve party with me or nicotine? Whoa. Do you know, I'm so dumb. It may be 2025, but I'm still the same old Shaaba, and I know this because when I was like, oh wow, nicotine is a funny name. Who's she? I have a PhD. You know it. I am a 34-year-old woman, says OP, and when my partner, a 29-year-old man, and I moved in together a few years back, it was on the condition that he gave up smoking. It was tough for him. Me, fine. But he successfully gave up ... for a while. It's hard. I don't have any personal experience. I know a lot of loved ones who do smoke. I definitely feel like this generation, millennials and below, there is significantly less smoking, at least in the circles that I frequent. And as much as I can disapprove and as much as it really pisses me off when I'm walking down the street and someone's got a cigarette and they're right in front of me and I'm like, I do also completely understand what addiction is and that it's incredibly difficult to be able to get over. So I think it's sweet that you're supporting, as long as that support is being shown in the right way and ultimately in a way that the smoker is able to actually want and successfully maintain. Not being like, you moving with me? No cigarettes! Since then, he's lapped a few times. It does upset me, but I understand the addiction enough to not take it too personally. Look, it's not personal at all, babe. At all. I encourage him to quit each time, which he does. I don't believe that he would ever be able to quit if it was just down to pressure from me, but also he's only ever been able to quit with my help. I think what OP is trying to say there is that partner wants to do it for himself, but wouldn't be able to if it wasn't for her support, and I'm hoping that's what's being said. I probably haven't been perfect, says OP. We appreciate the vulnerability, often pushing him further than he is comfortable with in the moment, like by making him talk to me until a craving goes away, or throwing away his nicotine so that he has to make an active decision to buy more, but it works. I see this as being supportive, but I get that it's also mixed in with self-serving motives because I want him to quit. Fair enough. It sounds like there's a lot of good reflection going on, even if maybe the methods are less traditional. A few times, says OP, he has lapsed and hidden it from me for a couple of weeks. I mean, to be fair, whilst it might be something that he wants to do, seeing how strict and draconian, am I using that word right? I think I'm using that word right. Draconian your methods are, I can understand how you have fostered an environment where your partner's not going to feel able to open up to you all the time. That is the consequence of you being so strong and so like, look, me, I'm going to be involved in this way. No, you can't do anything that involves a cigarette. Like, really, we can't be surprised here, right, OP? OP continues, I have told him over and over again that hiding things and lying is very hurtful and corrodes the trust in our relationship. And now we cut to a couple of days ago. He admitted to me that he has been hiding a lapse, only this time he's been vaping for about 4 months. That is a lot of lying, says OP. I think my upset over the deception is maybe clouding my judgment for this particular issue, because as soon as he told me he started smoking more, heading out of the house every couple of hours or so to do so, he told me that he came clean because the burden was too much, but his actions make it seem like he only told me because his addiction is pushing him to smoke more, so I would have found out anyway. He's told me that he wants to give up again, but not straight away, and I've accepted that as I get that he needs to work himself up to the right place mentally. Sorry, when we're saying smoking here, is he vaping or is he smoking? Because they are different. I appreciate that none of them are wonderful, but they are different. Finally, to the question, says OP, we are planning to go to his friend's party for New Year's. I'm looking forward to seeing them and catching up with them. I told him that I won't have an enjoyable night if he's smoking in front of me, so he needs to choose between laying off for one evening or me not coming. If he chooses nicotine, I'll probably stay at home or tag along with another friend and leave him to go to his friend's party alone. Okay, initially when I had that word choice, I had alarm bells in my head. I was like, this is an ultimatum, but it's not. This is you saying, hey, I'm gonna feel able to come if I'm not in the presence of you smoking generally, right? But if that's what's going to happen, I don't feel comfortable being there, so I will remove myself from that situation and you can still go. Fine. That is absolutely fine for you to lay boundaries in that way. He called me controlling and said that I shouldn't force him to make a choice like that. Interesting. It's funny because I can see how you're asking him to make a choice, but it's also not him making a choice. You're not forcing him to make a choice. You're just saying, this is a situation in which I'll go. Inform me of whether I'm able to go. I know it sounds like I'm nitpicking. I know it sounds like the difference is like nothing, but it's actually a really big difference, because what you're saying is I'm not making you choose me over cigarettes. I'm not making you do something. I'm not saying you will not go to this party and smoke, or I will break up with you and you cannot have me as a partner. You know, like, we're not making him choose. What you're saying is I'm not going to put myself in an environment where I'm expected to socialize and be happy when you're smoking. So tell me if there's going to be smoking involved, and I am going to do what I need to do, what's best for me, which is either coming or not going. But you can still go and do it. I don't think that's controlling. So I just had to like mull it over, let it brew, let it marinate a little bit. You are perfectly within your right to say that. Okay, I think I'm being reasonable, says OP. He's managed evenings together over the past few months, so I'm only asking him to do the same as he would have done a few days ago if he carried on lying to me. OP asks, please don't say mean things about him because he's wonderful, kind and caring in many ways that I would run out of character count if I started trying to explain. I just want to get an outside perspective so we can empathize more with each other's point of view. How cute is that? How good egg do these intentions seem? So am I the drama, asks OP, for saying that I will only go to the party if he doesn't smoke that evening. I think it might make me the arsehole in which it gives him a decision where he puts his preferences below mine. I'm gonna say, for the question that you've asked about the New Year's Eve party, no, I don't think you're the drama, specifically because it's only for one night, specifically because, as you've said, he has done it multiple times before, but most importantly, right, most importantly because you are just making decisions for you. If we put it to something else that's not smoking, and I know that addiction makes that different, so I'm not trying to trivialize addiction with this, I'm just trying to test the boundaries of this like personal choice. My partner Jamie, love him to bits, he's wonderful. He does not do clubbing. He doesn't like nightclubs. He's not a party goer. He's not a big dance, music, loud noise, lots and lots of drinking. That's not his vibe. If I said, hey, I really want to hang out with my friends and we're going to go to this nightclub to do it and I'd like you to come along, and he went, I'll come if we don't go to the nightclub. If we go to restaurants, sure. If we go to a quieter bar, if we go to someone's house, sure. But if you're going to a nightclub, I'm not going to do that. I might be like, oh, but I really want you there and I really want to go clubbing because I haven't gone on a clubbing night out in a long time. Like, that is totally fine for me to feel, but it's also not my place to be like, oh, how dare you be controlling and say that I can't go to a nightclub, because Jamie's not saying, babe, don't go to a nightclub. I can still go to the nightclub. He's just saying, look, I don't want to be exposed to something that I don't want to be exposed to. And that is predominantly why I don't think that you are the drama here. Am I going to say that you are absolutely void of accountability though? No, because I definitely feel, as I mentioned beforehand, that there are other things that you've done pre this party that maybe have fostered an environment where he doesn't feel like he can be open with you because you're being way too strict and actually not doing what successful methods of quitting smoking suggest that you should be doing. Maybe I would also just very kindly encourage you and anybody else in this situation, right, to look up how to quit smoking properly. Get some help from outside the home, because GPs can be really wonderful for this. Charities can be really wonderful for this. Medical steps as well can make things like this significantly easier. Things like nicotine patches, for example. But I don't think that you are the drama for the New Year's Eve issue. For a second, I was wondering if there should be a no drama here badge, because I don't think that your partner should be taking accountability for feeling sad, right? That he's essentially feeling like he has to choose now between having a smokeless experience at this party or having you come along. I totally expect for someone to feel like they're stuck between a rock and a hard place, but I don't think it's fair to call you controlling, and you are not forcing him to make a choice. It is just an outcome of a choice that you are making that he has to live with, and he has the ability to change that. And I know that addiction isn't always a choice, and that makes it hard, but it's still within his remit to be able to say, okay, cool, I won't smoke for just this night so that we can go out together. So I think because he's calling you controlling, it does make him the tiniest drama with condolences. Oh, everybody sucks here, says one commenter. First, you suck for constantly nagging him about something he already knows. Smokers know that it's gross, we know it's bad for us, we already know every argument that you're going to throw at us because we've heard it all before. But what you might not know is that nicotine can be harder to kick than quite hard bad substances, and 2, you can't get someone to quit until they want to. Every smoker that I've ever known, including me, has said the same thing. Secondly, he sucks for lying about it. I understand why he's lying about it, but he sucks for lying about it. He's addicted to it and life sucks without your crutch, but he wants to try to make you happy. If he wants to keep smoking and you can't handle the smoking, you got to break up and find other partners. I do understand where this is coming from, and I think it's really important for me to point out that I do not have smoking experience, so I'm understanding exactly what you're saying, and I totally agree with like the first part of this. I get how difficult it is to overcome addiction, and I totally agree with it. You can't get someone to quit if they don't want to, but I don't think that breaking up is the right move here, and I don't think it's the right advice to even like plant as a seed in your mind. You don't want him to, he doesn't want him to, and just because you're going through a rough patch doesn't mean that you're therefore not compatible. You can liken it to any other form of addiction, but also any other kind of mental health issue, right? Like somebody can have huge amounts of anxiety and they might not want to, and it might really affect your day-to-day living. How mean would I be as a person if I was to break up with you because you were finding that really difficult? No, we work through it. As long as you want to work through it, it may take time, you may relapse, there may be many a time where we struggle and miss out on opportunities. As long as you are still wanting and like genuinely wanting, right, and making moves to genuinely try, that's the only niggle that I have. You are the drama. I'm not going to criticize him when you fail to realize the first rule of addiction. You can't make him stop, period. You're nagging, complaining, and now it's nicotine or me. It won't solve anything. Ooh, interesting. I think the problem with this is from his point of view, there's no way to see it as anything other than an ultimatum. Instead of him feeling guilty for doing it in front of you and stopping because of that, he gets to shift the blame to it being you guilt-tripping him and then being able to justify, well, why should I have to? And Opie's actually responded to this and said, I think this is the most helpful and instructive reply so far. I did make this title a bit more spicy than I phrased it to him, but I see your point. I've talked to him to make sure that he knows that it's a reflection of how I want to spend the particular evening, not an ultimatum. I super appreciate Opie doing that. And as I said, I didn't view it as an ultimatum because you are just choosing what you are doing for yourself. But sometimes what we say and what people hear are two very different conversations. And I can see from his mindset why he would see it as being like, oh, you're making me choose. See, healthy communication, learning the ways to communicate, always a very useful thing to do. Sadly, although New Year's Eve has happened, we don't have an update from OP, but hopefully this discussion has helped other people who might be in similar situations, and I'm manifesting, putting out in the world, that these guys get along just fine. Drama! Am I the drama for making my lesbian daughter's children blankets? What? I'm so confused. I was gonna say unless the blankets were like knitted or crocheted in like the lesbian color planet. Planet, why not? Lesbian planet, let's go. But it is the most beautiful flag color palette. No one can convince me otherwise. Opie says, I'm a 52-year-old woman and I've got 3 daughters. Anne, who's 30, Carrie, who's 26, and Jane, 20. When all my girls turned 18, I made them a special blanket. I then made 3 swaddle blankets out of the same materials for their future children. That is so cute, except for the fact that when I hear the word swaddle, the only thing that comes to mind is Vince Vaughn from the movie 4 Christmases.
Woman, do your job and swaddle this baby.
Carrie told me not to because she didn't want kids. So this is when she was 18. She was like, Ma, don't make me a blanket. I'm not gonna have kids. I found out later that it's because she's a lesbian, and I said okay, but made them just in case. This is so cute. This is so cute. Wait, if you're not homophobic, this is so cute. Earlier this year, Carrie married her lovely wife, yay! Not a homophobe, Rory, who is 28. Her amazing daughter Diane, who is 5, is my 3rd grandchild. I approached Rory and asked if I could give her one of the blankets that I made for Carrie's kids, or if she wanted me to make one special for her out of the materials that I used to make their wedding living room blanket. Oh, a wedding living room blanket too? I just love the fact that this mum's like, you've got an occasion to celebrate? Blankie for you! Clearly blankets are her love language, and I'm so here for it. I always give these out on the day that they are born, so for Diane, I plan on giving it to her on her birthday. I was explaining that to her. She told me, so Rory, the wife, told me to ask Diane, the 5-year-old. I did, and Carrie overheard. Okay, so I just want to clarify what's happening in my mind. You make blankets for special occasions. You made blankets for your kids, and matching blankets to eventually give to their kids in the future, should they have had them. One of your kids, Carrie, is a lesbian and married Rory, and Rory brought along to your family a 5-year-old that she had from a previous relationship. And normally you would give blankets to your grandkids when they're born, but of course you now only know Diane, the kid, after she was born. And so you're wanting to do it on a birthday. This is making sense to me. Thank you for allowing me the space to summarize. So you asked Diane, and Carrie, your daughter, overhears. I found out that Carrie is pregnant because she was crying and yelling that I didn't respect her wishes. So how can she trust me with her baby? What? Wait, what? Okay, so Carrie overheard and is now having a go at you. And in that upset, she's now told you that she right now is pregnant and is upset because you didn't respect her wishes at the age of 18. Wow, okay. I'm just so confused and hurt, says OP. I was trying to do something nice for all of my girls, and then my sweet Diane. Hang on, I know this has gone crappy. This is turned into a problem. But can we just take a moment, just one moment, to appreciate how so far OP has been lovely and is like, hey, my kid maybe will have kids, maybe she won't. I'm gonna do this just in case, but doesn't have like any sad feelings towards that potentially not happening. And now the kids come out and she's like, oh, her lovely wife, my sweet Diane. She's like accepting this child and a lesbian daughter, like with so much grace, which shouldn't be a surprise. It should just be a lovely normal thing to do. But because it's so not normal in today's world, to hear this being said so candidly, I just wanted to make a gorgeous little game moment for that, because that is chef's kiss. Brownie badge for you, OP. Let's hope you don't ruin it with the rest of this post. Let's see. Instead of being happy, I was cautious. Carrie is threatening to now go low contact. Oh, because I don't respect her. And she says that I'm obviously homophobic because how else would I have thought that she would get pregnant? Which is very confusing. Right, so Carrie is saying that because when she was 18... Hang on, but you didn't know that she wasn't out then, right? You found out later that she was a lesbian. But right now Carrie's saying, well, when I was 18, I told you I wasn't going to have kids, but you made me this blanket anyway for my future kids. So you're clearly not happy with me not having kids. And she's gone, well, it's because I'm a lesbian and therefore you must be homophobic. I feel like Carrie's got the wrong end of the stick here. Oh, Carrie. And now she's threatening to go low contact with OP. Oh dear. Rory is telling me that it's hormones and that Carrie is emotional because of how hard it was to get pregnant. I didn't really know that they'd been trying and that she's afraid that she's going to lose it. I can totally see, because if she's pregnant, that also means that she's gone through a whole range of IVF, presumably. It doesn't sound like they are conceiving naturally. The IVF process is a real hormonal roller coaster. There is so much pressure for it to go right, particularly more than a natural pregnancy, especially when you think of the additional like monetary concerns and the limitedness of certain resources, particularly for same-gender couples. So I can understand if Carrie's like in a not so fantastic headspace, why we should maybe give her a little bit of grace. So am I the drama? OP asks. I was trying to be kind. I wasn't being homophobic or trying to be disrespectful. There are two edits here. One, I don't know if it's relevant, but I still have materials from the blankets for patching, so I was planning on adding to Diane's to make it big enough to use, or I was going to let her have it to fit her baby dolls. That's what my other two granddaughters do now, that their blankets are too small for them. Just the idea of matching blankets from when someone was 18 to their kids, like it is the sweetest thing. Oh my god. In edit 2, OP's clarifying that I didn't know that Carrie was a lesbian until she was 23 and made the blankets by the time that she was 19. Okay, so babe, you're clearly not homophobic. Honestly, I can't see you as being anything but a good egg. I'm giving you the brownie badge. I'm keeping it there, and I'm also saying a big not the drama. No, I'm not. I'm saying no drama here. That is my badge. No drama here. I mean, hang on a second. Let me do both. I know this is an unconventional way to start the year, but it's my video, and so heck, goddammit, we're doing it. You definitely are not the drama, but I'm struggling to call Carrie the drama because while she's certainly being a little bit dramatic here, it is not her fault. If she is hormonal, if she has this pressure on her, she was holding in a big secret. She's pregnant, and it sucks that you've had to find out in this way, and it sucks that she's feeling in some ways triggered, right? Because that is what's happening. And it sucks that she's brought that up in a way that doesn't feel fantastic for 5-year-old Diane as well. You know, like this is not a great parenting moment for her. But that's okay, because we are not perfect people. We will make mistakes, especially when there's a whole load of unnatural amounts of hormones running through our bodies. That is my verdict. Not the drama. And this is coming from a lesbian, says one commenter. You didn't even know that was why she said she didn't want kids at the time that you made the blanket. Plus, saying I'm obviously homophobic because how else would I have thought she'd get pregnant makes zero sense. Presumably you're aware that sperm donation existed. And not just sperm donation, you could adopt, you could have in any kind of exploring stage happened to have had a child, you could foster, it could have been for a pet baby, and that's okay too. You just wanted to cover the bases, and I think that's really sweet, especially because at the age of 18, saying that you don't want kids, you don't know if that's going to be a decision that you have for the rest of your life. And I love the fact that the mum's like, I'm not putting pressure on it, but if it does happen, I don't want Carrie to have missed out on that. I was actually just talking to Jamie about this situation when I passed my driving test. I failed the first time. The second time when I passed my driving test, test, my mum had 2 chocolates in her bag. One said, congratulations, you passed. One said, better luck next time. I didn't know about the better luck next time because she just gave me the congratulations, you passed one. And it was only when she was slyly giving the no, you didn't pass to a friend that I was like, what's happening here? And I'd realised that she'd done that. And I could have reacted in 2 ways. Part of me, for a second, I was like, oh, I'm feeling kind of weird about the fact that you didn't think that I was going to pass. Like, what? That's so rude. Did you not have faith in me? But that very quickly disappeared because my overriding feeling relating to that is just feeling loved. That my mum, regardless of the situation, which she didn't know the outcome of, was just trying to make me feel good. She'd covered the bases just in case. And I just think that's a really sweet thing to do. And I know that chocolates and passing your driving test is not the same as having a baby, but I'm just saying, I think that's like a boss bitch mum move from my mum and similarly from OP to be like, hey, just in case, I got you. OP responded to this commenter and said, that is right. I found out about 3 years ago when she began dating Rory. I made the blankets years before that. And also, yes, even when I found out she was a lesbian, there's so many ways for someone to have a baby, including adoption. We had a heart-to-heart when she came out. That's why she said she didn't want kids because she never planned on getting married. So she never thought that she would have them. And OP's added here that we live in a conservative area, so it's hard for her sometimes. That makes a lot of sense. I wonder if maybe this is just a situation where there are other things that have been happening to Carrie, which have made her feel some kind of way about her identity. We all know that coming out is not a one-time thing. We all know that it can be really freaking hard, not to be LGBT, but to deal with assholes who do not allow people to just be themselves. And I feel like maybe this is a situation where she's accidentally misdirecting some of that uncertainty and insecurity onto you from misreading a situation. But I'm really hoping that hormone levels will calm down. She will understand it. It sounds like Rory understands it, right? And we shouldn't ever underestimate the power of having some time and having someone talk about the situation to someone else and be able to see things from a different perspective and then coming back and being like, my bad. I do that all the time. ADHD rage is so real. And then just being like, yeah, I definitely overreacted in that situation. Sorry. No drama here. I think this is a big misunderstanding. I totally agree with this. Personally, I feel like you did the right thing by preparing ahead just in case. It's not homophobic. It was just a bit foresight that your kid might want to have kids one day, regardless of sexuality. I think if she calms down a little, she might be able to reassess. Maybe having a gentle and honest talk about it with her wife as a mediator could help. It seems like her wife isn't offended and might understand and be able to act as a buffer. Mic drop for sure. And OP again has responded to say, maybe we live in a conservative area and I didn't even know she wasn't straight until she started dating Rory. I love all of my girls, Rory and Diane included. Oh, stop, I'm gonna cry. I was trying to show all 3 of them how much I love them, but maybe it did seem like I was undermining her by going against what she'd asked. I just love them all so much and I don't want Diane to feel left out. I only waited this long because I wanted to be respectful, but now that they're married in, she is officially my grandbaby. This is so cute. I love it. I love this OP. Huge brownie badges for you. I'm so certain that this is going to go well, and I'm so glad that Carrie has such a lovely, warm, accepting mum. And not just Carrie, but Rory and Diane too. Oh, big yay. What a wonderful, drama to start the year off with. I'm sorry if that sounds really weird, but truly that's cool. Let's bring more of that energy into the rest of 2025. Am I the drama for not accepting water from a woman who happened to be a Muslim? What? Sometimes I read them and I'm like, yes, I'm reading words. And then I'm like, wait, what did I just say? Okay. This is not a hate post. Ugh, I'm so glad that was right at the beginning. Because honestly, I was on high alert. I was like, don't you dare be Islamophobic. I am ready to smack a bitch. I was traveling with my friend on a bus, says OP, and I happened to ask her for some water, but she didn't have any. A woman in her 30s wearing hijab offered me her bottle, but I refused because she's a stranger. As simple as that. No mention of religion or anything. Okay. That sounds very reasonable to me. OP continues. As soon as I refused, she said, but you just said that you're thirsty. I politely replied that yes, but you are a stranger, hence. She was quick to reply with, is it because of my religion? I said, no, it's not. It's only because I don't know you and I don't know if it's safe. But she kept on insisting, saying that it's safe to drink and that I should take it. I said no again. She scoffed and said something under her breath about me being racist. And at that point, I had enough and told her to shut it. And I don't want her water. Ooh, I was totally on your side. I see it, I do, but that wasn't a nice move. I'm not sure if that was warranted. I can appreciate why you may have felt that way and might have felt frustrated, and I can appreciate how it must feel for someone to call you racist when you're not racist and be like, excuse me? But that's not going to be helping anybody. Let's carry on though. A few other passengers noticed, and one of them, a young guy, commented something hurtful to her religion, which I will not quote. Okay, so somebody else actually was racist and Islamophobic, but the woman was noticeably taken aback and got down at the next stop itself, and I feel this fiasco will play in her mind for a while, which isn't good. And maybe I should have just accepted the water as a comeback to the guy who commented, so am I the drama? Interesting. Okay, something in my gut, I just have to say, isn't feeling right about this post. I don't know what it is, is, and maybe it's because we aren't being fully informed, because we don't know what the other person said. I'm so curious, did you say something when the other person was being Islamophobic in a way that you've clearly recognized because you're like, I'm not going to repeat it here? Did you stand up for her? Did you say like, excuse me, that's not very nice, that's not very warranted? That's my biggest question. Ultimately though, I'm so stuck. I was going to say no, I don't think you're the drama. Let's put it this way. I certainly do not think that you are the drama at all for not taking the water. I too would not have taken the water. I would have questioned anybody who would have taken the water, unless you were like really thirsty and in need. I have to also say, I'm assuming that the water bottle is a reusable water bottle, right? This isn't just like a brand new fresh bottle of water. But having said that, even if it was a fresh brand new bottle of water, I also wouldn't have taken it. One, because I'd feel bad to be like, hey, well, you clearly got this for yourself. But also because you don't really take things from strangers, right? Like it's the number one rule. If your parents raised you right, you don't take things from strangers and then put them in your mouth. It's just not a good idea. It has nothing to do with religion or race, literally just stranger danger, baby. The two things that are making me feel some kind of way is the fact that you were like, oh, shut it, I don't want your water. That isn't nice. And I think especially, you have to understand the power dynamics. I'm also assuming that you're white. We do make a lot of assumptions on these posts. I think it's a fair assumption to make considering the context of the post and the fact that you haven't said otherwise. Recognizing that power dynamic, I just don't think that that's a nice thing to do. When someone's been like, I'm being vulnerable to you and letting you know that I'm feeling like this could be racially motivated, even if it's not, they're telling you that they are feeling vulnerable. They are telling you, I feel like I'm on the back foot here, and you've just gone and like been a little bit aggressive and been like, shut it. Like that's just a bad power play, in my opinion. And as mentioned before, the second thing that I'm feeling kind of squiffy about is the fact that, like, did you respond? Did you stand up for her afterwards? I feel bad that she got off the bus thinking that two people have been racist and Islamophobic towards her, whereas if you had stood up and said something to shut down that discrimination, again, only if you felt safe to do so yourself, then maybe you would not be feeling so bad and she would not be feeling so bad. So I think I'm actually going to say everybody sucks here, except for your friend. Your friend doesn't suck for not having the water. I do think you suck for saying what you said, but you are the smallest suckiness out of it. I think the asshole who was saying something that was Islamophobic was the biggest sucky person here, and I do think the lady who has offered you water also sucks, because I think it's perfectly understandable. Like, you've entered yourself into a conversation where OP was speaking to a friend to ask for water. It's very kind of you to have offered, but if they say no, like, drop it. The fact that you kept going and then called them racist and muttered under your breath is not fantastic. Let's see what other people have to say on this one. Oh, if it was store-bought, clearly never been opened, then yes, you are the drama. If it was reusable water, then no, you are not the drama. Interesting. I think I'd be inclined to disagree. Just because, as I said, I would feel bad taking an unopened bottle of water from somebody else, because I'd be like, why would I take your water? Like, unless I'm going to pay you for it, thank you, but unless I'm super desperate, that's yours, I can wait. Not the drama, but she is for bringing her religious bullshit up for no reason. See, this is a dicky comment. This is absolutely unnecessary. It's unnecessary to be this harsh, and I think it's these kind of microaggressions that people will be like, oh, I don't realize that I'm being racist and Islamophobic right now. But actually, this comment genuinely this is a really shitty comment, and it may be a low-key Islamophobia, but it's definitely there, and it's coming from an unconscious bias where you're going, oh, look at you having to insert your identity into everything. LGBT plus people also get this all the time. Oh, why'd you have to make everything about you being LGBT plus? Well, it's because, newsflash, person with a lot of privilege, who clearly in this situation is not religious. I'm not religious too, right? So it's like, I'm not speaking from a level of bias, but that person is clearly feeling attacked. She's feeling on guard, and it's because in this society you're brought up to think that people are going to be Islamophobic towards you, because people aren't nice. So calling it religious bullshit makes it sound like she's being a diva and bringing it up for no reason, just for like sympathy points or whatever, which is totally not the case. Allow people to have their feelings. Recognize your privilege, that this isn't the worry that you have, and don't call it religious bullshit for no reason, because a history of abuse, both as a community and as an individual person, is a very valid reason. Oh, somebody has asked, was the water bottle sealed, or has the woman been drinking from the bottle already before she offered it to you? OP responded and said no, it was a pink opaque bottle, maybe a steel one. Okay, so this was a reusable water. Very sweet of you to offer, but also very understandable as to why you'd say no. I'm from a Muslim family and I'm saying hell no. Fair enough. And someone else says, I don't care if it was sealed either, I wouldn't take it. Ah, interesting. Somebody else has asked here, if you cared about people not thinking that you're racist, why didn't you speak up when the other guy made a comment about her religion? That was your opportunity to make it clear to everyone, particularly that woman, that you are not racist or Islamophobic, because they're not the same thing. Now, instead you come across as being in agreement with him. That woman probably feels like everybody on that bus is racist, and why shouldn't she? She probably deals with comments like this 24/7. And this previous commenter, who was an asshole, is how you challenge your unconscious bias. OP has actually responded to this and said, I would have, but I was taken aback from everything that she said to me passive aggressively. I don't get it. I didn't do anything and she labels me as a racist, but is saying nothing to the person who's actually a racist. I question, because we don't have the information. Are you a woman? Are you a man? Are you the same age as the other person? Because all of these things definitely play a part in that lady's perception on the bus, right? You're saying that a guy said something that was really horrible to her. Actually, regardless of whether, like, what gender you are, if someone is being that arrogant and aggressive with their Islamophobia, it automatically will put her in an unsafe position to speak up and to be like, how dare you say that to me? And especially because in her mind, even if it wasn't the case and you were not being Islamophobic, but in her mind, she feels like you have been Islamophobic to her, and now someone else has been very clearly Islamophobic to her. She feels ganged up on. She's not going to want to speak out. That is not a very safe situation to defend yourself in. And I think that's kind of shown, right, by the fact that she left. She left as soon as she could. Maybe it was her stop, but I would bet money that she just felt really damn uncomfortable. And I think it's totally fine for you to feel taken aback. It's also totally fine for you to feel unsafe about calling out someone else's hate and bigotry. I, for example, if there was a man on the bus and was like, rah, 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 to someone who was a hijabi, I would not feel comfortable being like, fuck you, why are you saying that? Like, to the racist person. If I felt safe enough to do so, I would definitely try and like sit next to the hijabi and speak to her and show her that she's got an ally in this situation and provide an extra buffer to sort of distract the conversation away from what's happening. And I guess what I'm trying to say within that is it's not sitting right with me that you wouldn't act in some way to try and help her when someone's done something racist. And even if that was something that was, you know, safe for you, that didn't involve fully calling out the other person, but still being like, hey, I'm sorry, that, like, just to the hijabi lady, that wasn't called for. We're good. I said that really candidly, but I hope my point is coming across. And again, I just have to say, I've got this funny pit in my stomach reading that. I don't get it. I didn't do anything. She labels me as racist, but says nothing to that person who's actually racist. Like, something isn't sitting right. Sadly, there doesn't seem to be any more information or updates about this post, but I feel like we've covered a lot of points that can be great learning moments. I'm assuming there's going to be a lot of chat downstairs in the comments about this. Totally fine if that's the case. Just remember, Peaches, to be kind. Alright, this last submission is from a fellow Peach, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for submitting an Am I the Drama post. Other Peaches, if you too have posts that you would like to submit for consideration for the podcast, you can take a look at how to do that via our website. All the details are in the description box. For now, Elizabeth asks, am I the drama I share with my therapist because sometimes sharing with my parents adds to my problems? Ooh. Elizabeth, 21 years old, says, I previously left my second year of college to improve my mental health. Do you know what? That is a really brave thing to do. It takes guts to recognize the mental situation that you're in and to act in a way that's so drastically like this, right? That some people would really stigmatize in order to prioritize your mental health. And I think it's really cool that you're also being so vulnerable about it by putting that out there for us to read and for other people to see. So brownie badge to you, my love. Let's keep reading. To describe my family, says Elizabeth, most members consider themselves open-minded, but still hold some traditional opinions. I'm bi, I want to get body modification, and I try to stay informed in social justice. My family is very open about criticisms that can sometimes be insensitive and or hit a bit close to home. I get what you're saying. I feel like you're probably giving your family like a little bit too much grace, but we see you, babe. We're reading between those lines. I try my best to respectfully correct them after holding my tongue when I was younger, but sometimes I do just need to vent. After taking time off from school, my parents worried and wanted to be in the loop about what I was doing to lessen the weight of my anxiety. And though I love my family dearly, I just needed to vent without fear of judgment based on our differences or having to follow any healing timelines. That sounds very reasonable. Luckily, my deliberate independence has helped immensely so far, but my parents seem to find the exclusion unfair. They feel like they're excluded from that conversation. Therapy is my escape from an onslaught of opinions so I can sort out what I want. I've finally gotten to reflect without being fed additional assertions. So am I the drama and am I being secretive, or is this a respectable boundary? You, babe, are not the drama. That would be my opinion on this for sure. And it is totally okay to have situations where you can't go to your loved ones for. I'll give you another example. Beaches, you know I love my husband Jamie. He's absolutely incredible and I want to be there for him always. And we both have situations where we don't feel like we can talk to each other about certain things because we can't have unbiased opinions. It's in the very nature of the relationships we have with our loved ones that we are blindsided. We are biased. And it's okay to be biased. That bias works in so many wonderful ways, but sometimes it's those exact biases from strong ties that makes it damaging to go to them to sort some things out. I know, for example, there are times where Jamie gets really mad at some of my loved ones that I'm particularly close to, and he can't vent to me about that because of my biased tie with my family. I'm not the right person to go to for that. Similarly, there might be times where I'm upset with some of Jamie's close loved ones and I can't vent to Jamie about it because he is biased about it. We need these ties to be spread over multiple people in order to exist as functional, healthy beings. And so if you're going to a therapist about it and you don't want your parents to be involved in that, that makes perfect sense. Fun fact, this is me getting geeky with my PhD hat on. We actually see this difference a lot between women and men in terms of bereavement. In a relationship, which of course we have to presume is straight because that's the majority of the world, when a partner dies, women actually fare a lot better in those situations than men do in terms of their mental health because, and again, we have to remember that science is based off of stereotypes, so we are using large averages here. Women, on average, have more social ties with wider groups of people than men do. So men, when they lose that core part of the relationship, don't have as many people to connect with, whereas women have a bunch of people that they can go and speak to. Science literally is on your side, Elizabeth. You are doing the right thing. You should not feel any kind of bad for putting in this very respectable boundary. It's not being secretive. It's a very valid difference of opinion. I'm not telling you how to feel. You're not telling me how to feel. But sometimes I need to go speak to my tribe about this kind of thing. Similarly, you parents can go and speak to your tribe about your kind of thing. And that is a-okay. So not the drama, babe. And we have a little note from Elizabeth here too that says, I'm transferring school soon and I'm excited for a fresh start. Congratulations, my love. I'm presuming that you started your new school. I'm so hoping that everything is going really well for you. And that fresh start is exactly what you need and more, with your parents maintaining very respectful boundaries. Especially with you being 21. You know, at this age, you don't always speak to your parents about these things. Sending so much love to you, my little bye bean, and other fellow peaches. If you would like to, I was going to say fellow buys, maybe, please do feel free to give some advice to Elizabeth downstairs in the comment section too, if you're watching this over on YouTube. Thank you so much, Peaches, for joining me for our very first solo Am I the Drama deep dive this year. Happy 2025 once again. I hope this year brings you everything you deserve, and I will catch you next time with another video. Meanwhile, if you'd like to give this video a thumbs up or subscribe, please do so over on YouTube. If you're listening to this podcast on another platform, please do give it a rating. It really helps us out. Be kind and have a great day. Bye.
When I was a kid, that was real. 20 years on and I'm still real.